In a swift turn of events, the Odisha government has now suspended 5 police personnel for gross misconduct over the alleged assault on an army officer and his fiancée in a police station of Bhubaneswar on September 14. After backlash, Tata Institute of Social Sciences has modified its controversial honor code. Students now has been asked to refrain from any activities damaging the college's name or disrupt academic environment. It has also lifted the ban on the Progressive Students Forum. And in a stern warning, Gadkari has now come down heavily on agencies and also contractors over ill-maintained road in Uttar Pradesh's Ghaziabad. Following the death of a 23-year-old student owing to Nipah virus infection, the Kerala government has now imposed strict containment measures like mandated mask use in parts of Malappuram district. On the other hand, a first case of Mpox has also been reported in Kerala's Malappuram district. Hundreds of handheld pagers exploded near simultaneously across Lebanon and in parts of Syria, killing at least 12 people. Hezbollah has pointed the finger at Israel in what appears to be a sophisticated remote attack that wounded more than 2,700 people at a time of rising tensions across the Lebanon border. However, the Israeli military has declined to comment on this matter. Meanwhile, the Palestinian death toll in Gaza has mounted to 41,226 amid the intensified violence and also stalled ceasefire negotiations, threatening the continuation of a crucial polio vaccination campaign for the children in the affected area. Meanwhile, the head of the United Nations Agency for Palestinians met with Lebanese officials as the agency struggles with constant calls for its dismantling. UNRWA's Commissioner General spoke from Beirut after a meeting with Lebanon Speaker of Parliament Nabi Berri. Meanwhile, dozens of people protested in front of the UNRWA headquarters in Lebanon against the visit. And also, residents in northern Israel were not convinced after the Security Cabinet decided that halting Hezbollah attacks is now a war goal. They said that they believe this should have been done a very long time ago, and this after the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced earlier that returning residents evacuated from Israel's north due to cross-border fighting with Hezbollah is now an official war goal. And a spokesperson for Ukraine's foreign ministry denied any government or military links to the suspect in Sunday's apparent assassination attempt on former US President Donald Trump. The man suspected in the incident, Ryan Roth, has in fact was camped outside the golf course in West Palm Beach with food and rifle for nearly 12 hours. And Ukrainian President Zelensky gave an award to the members of the family of a killed Ukrainian State Emergency Service rescuer as part of the state events to mark the country's Day of the Rescuer. Speaking to the personnel at the ceremony, Zelensky said that 97 State Emergency Service personnel have been killed during the war while saving the lives of others. According to President Zelensky, 4 rescuers are in Russian captivity and hundreds have also been injured. And Russia also reported that its forces had attacked several Ukrainian targets and shut down a warplane in the past 24 hours, while Ukraine also claimed that its army had repelled Russian offensives in different directions. The Russian Defense Ministry said in its daily battlefield report that the Russian army had hit Ukrainian targets, including a drone production workshop and also a warehouse, as well as the infrastructure of a military airport. Doctors Without Borders have now said that it have closed its operation in Russia after 32 years, citing a Justice Ministry letter that said that the medical aid group had been removed from a register of foreign non-governmental organizations. The aid group has said that it would retain its branch office in Moscow, but operations run by its Dutch affiliate have been stopped. And the United States is welcoming world leaders to the United Nations General Assembly in New York. U.S. Ambassador Linda Thomas-Greenfield said that the growing list on conflicts shows that this year's gathering comes at a very critical and a challenging moment with the UN-led humanitarian system stretched dangerously thin. She also assured world leaders and delegates arriving in New York that authorities will provide maximum security to them. Thousands of activists and leaders of the opposition Bangladesh nationalist parties rallied in the nation's capital to demand a democratic transition through an election, as an interim government has yet to outline a time frame for the new voting. The supporters also gathered in front of the BNP headquarters in Dhaka, where they chanted slogans demanding a new election. And wildfires in the Russia-controlled Luhansk region of Ukraine killed 4 people, having spread to residential houses of the villages in 3 districts. Rescuers from 5 of Russia's southern regions also came to reinforce local firefighters' teams. Several hundred buildings were destroyed and some industrial facilities were also on fire. Residents were also evacuated from the area. And firefighters distributed food and water supplies in the Czech Republic town of Bohumín to people who refused to leave their houses or returned after floods that affected the area. Exceptionally heavy rainfall has been pounding Central Europe and has prompted deadly flooding in the region, with 4 new deaths reported in Poland, 3 in Czech Republic and also 1 in Romania. Egyptian foreign minister has welcomed Hungarian foreign minister to Cairo to discuss a bilateral relation and also developments in the Middle East. The Egyptian foreign minister said that there was an urgent need in reaching a ceasefire and also hostage release deal. And the first picture of the Titan submersible following its deadly June 2023 implosion has been revealed on Monday by the US Coast Guard, as authorities opened a public hearing into the deaths of the 5 people on board. Its first glimpse also now shows the Titan's broken tail cone on the floor of the Atlantic Ocean. Fragments of the vessel are also visible on the ocean floor, debris that recovery crews found in the wake of the implosion. The accident's victims were killed when an intense ocean pressure caused the Titan to collapse on itself off the coast of Newfoundland in Canada. And in the world of sports now, the men in blue return to red ball cricket action after a 6-month break, as India is all set to host Bangladesh at the iconic Chepauk tomorrow. While Team India will be looking for redemption after a subpar display against Sri Lanka in the ODI series, the Bengal Tigers are coming from a historic Test series win over in Pakistan. And England has included pacer Saqib Mohammed in their squad for the upcoming ODI series against Australia. The 24-year-old was in top form for the Three Lions in the recently concluded T20 series against the Kangaroos. South African skipper Temba Bavuma has been ruled out from the first ODI against Afghanistan. It is learned that Bavuma is suffering from an illness, and also in place of him, Adam Markram will lead the side against the Afghans. And in a big update from the IPL, cricketing legend Ricky Ponting has now been appointed as the head coach of Punjab Kings ahead of the 2025 IPL season. Ponting joins Punjab just after parting ways with Delhi Capitals, with whom he has spent 7 seasons so far. Over in football, Manchester United thumped Barnsley 7-0 in the third round of the Carabao Cup. Led from the front by Marcus Rashford, the Red Devils registered their biggest win under the stewardship of Erik ten Hag. And Liverpool also secured a thrilling 3-1 win over AC Milan to bring their Champions League campaign on a positive note. The Italian side went 1-0 up in the 3rd minute. However, Liverpool then turned things around quickly by scoring twice in the first half and once more in the second half. And Aston Villa has now made a stylish return to the USL after 41 years with a 3-0 win over young boys from Switzerland. Clashes against Bayern Munich and Juventus have also now await Villa in the remaining fixtures in the revamped league stage of the competition. Over to tennis now. Britain's Heather Watson crashed out of the ongoing Korea Cup following a straight set defeat in Seoul. In fact, the 32-year-old lost to her Ukrainian opponent in the second round of the tournament.